Yes, I have a quick question. A new company who has no any past experience can bid for NASA contract, especially when it has many experienced staff who are working in other successful companies, and of course with great ideas.
So if I understood you right, you're asking about entering NASA in terms of having absolutely no experience?
Exactly, madam.
Okay, yeah, actually, I think Kimberly and I both could probably talk a little bit about this. NASA is open, I will say, to looking at alternatives. It is a lift, which is the presentation we were walking through. You, similar to other organizations, they will tell you that it doesn't have to be directly related to it. I deal with it with Department of Energy as well. It's a matter of tailoring your write-up using language that they are familiar with. So oftentimes you are having to rewrite, rework things that you are understanding into terminology that NASA would understand. That would be one of the first recommendations.
As companies, we do, and we say, do we prime this with a customer where being on the inside matters, right? Can we prime something? Or do we have to come in as a sub, be on the inside, find an opportunity, instead of going after this opportunity, where we felt like we had a good prime position, should we have found an opportunity where we felt like we had a better sub position because it got us on the inside?
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
That's a great good morning. Where's Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie she came up, I just got to meet her, and she said, this is a great Team USA event today between government and industry. I said, well, you can come up here and give this opener. I love that. So, love the Team USA vibe. But, welcome to our first Reverse Industry Day. I assume we call this kind of like reverse mentoring, where we have an opportunity to really hear from you as you would, if you have a kind of reverse mentee that, typically it's someone that's, kind of giving you feedback, and that's really what today's about. But I want to thank Carla, Marvin, Andre, the entire procurement team for putting on this event. This team, I can tell you, they always work really hard, but they've really been working hard over the last couple of months. And it's truly impressive, and so I'm just always very grateful to have you all on our team. For those of you who know me or may not know me, one of the things that's really important to me is that we are leaning forward as an organization and as an agency. I think that's something that I'm always very proud of. When I'm here and talking to industry, is that we're an organization that really we get to do things for the benefit of humanity. And we have an opportunity, I think, to really drive forward on behalf of the federal government and the U.S. to really push boundaries. That's what we get to do every single day in our mission. And how we leverage industry, how we partner with industry is so critically important. And I can't overstate that enough, because if we're going to have a robust space economy in the future, where we all go further into the solar system, it's because we're able to do it together as partners. So, right now, obviously, we're in this time of transition while we're awaiting the arrival of a new administrator. So we have intentionally decided to kind of take time to be thoughtful. Hey, this is a great time as we're leaning forward into opportunities, change, to really get feedback from you all and to hear kind of about your experiences with us. What's it really like doing business with NASA? How can we continue to improve? And so that's really what today's about. So the teams, put together a great program, but I think if we're going to, lean into what we're going to do differently, it really starts with that honest dialogue. So don't be shy. I don't expect, I see some folks in the room who I know are not shy, and so I expect those folks are, going to help kind of lean into that conversation, because this is really around kind of the whole procurement life cycle, and how we do that together successfully. And that includes our small business community. So our small business community, those folks often face some of the most challenging barriers, of recognizing that, if there's this robust acquisition machine on the government side, there's not always in the small business side. And so we recognize that, and recognize that you make extremely meaningful impacts, and therefore your voice in this is really important. Just about a week ago, actually, I had the pleasure of hosting Kelly Loeffler. So she is the U.S. Administrator for small business for the United States, and it was incredible to have her here talk about the ways we can partner, talk about how we need a strong and innovative industrial base as we move forward kind of as a broader space sector. And she had an opportunity to go into our Space Operations Command Center, if anybody's been in that here, just to get a perspective of the complexity of our missions. And I think what she walked away with is it takes thousands of companies and people on the ground to make happen what we do every day in our complex mission.